So, let's talk about some of my favorite Randy Cunningham ships. I have a lot, actually, for this. I don't know why, but this is one of the shows where I'm kind of like... It's kind of like with Stormhawks, where I have multiple ships, and some of them are kind of mixed with... I can see characters with other characters. It's not like in most shows, and for most people, it's where we have that one ship and we sail on it until the very end. Anyway, so yeah, I've got several, but yeah. Anyway, so let's talk also with the fan art. Yeah, I know it's kind of, I know it's having all of Jonah and Vasquez's characters. Technically, Randy isn't. He just drew the character. But yeah, I can't find the artist's name, so I can't give credit, unfortunately. I need to really dig further into these the more I post fan art. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about my favorite Randy Cunningham ships. Now, these are just my personal favorites of these ships. If you like a ship differently, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. I'm always excited to see people's favorite ships and why they ship them. Anyway, let's talk about the first one, Randy and Teresa. That's everyone's ship, and I can see why. It's a very adorable ship. It's very adorable. Both Randy and Teresa have a lot in common. They have, Teresa's this very sweet, and she likes, she's not really a ninja fan. Oh yeah, the ninja does save her a few times, and the whole school, and she even saved it, he saved her from, being a monster most of the time, but she's more into Randy than anything else. And I love how Randy just, out of all the girls he's around, it's her, he has the one where he's the babbling idiot. And yes, I know there was the sorceress, but yeah, he was under a spell. So, yeah, it's really Teresa out of everyone that he's the babbling idiot when there's so many other girls out there that he's just kind of like, But no, they're completely adorable together. I just wish we had more with them. I wish we had more with them between them. And apparently, had there been a season 3, they would have gotten together. Yeah, and I would have loved to seen that. Anyway, so Randy and Teresa, that's the given. That is the one where it's the most. That's the one where you're like, yeah, totally. So let's move on to Randy and Heidi. This was actually, no lie, my first ship. This was actually my first ship of this show because I watched my first episode of Randy Cunningham was the episode where they're going to the rock, where they're having that rock off, and she sings that song about him. Now, honestly, this ship is, again, I adore this ship, even though, yeah, it's his sister, and one of the bro code is, you don't date your bro's sister. But still, yeah. But with Randy and Heidi, it's more of the opposite. With how I've kind of viewed Randy and Heidi's relationship is that instead of like with Teresa, where she's more into the ninja, Heidi is more where Teresa's more into Randy. Heidi would be more into the ninja persona. She would be very much like early Lois Lane, who was very much in love with Superman, and it would be very much like a whereas you could say that Randy and Teresa's relationship would be something like Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker and Mary Jane. With Heidi, it would be more like Superman and Lois Lane, where at the beginning, Heidi was more into the ninja, but eventually fell in love with both sides of the same person. So that would be the big thing here. With this story, with this kind of ship, is that she would be very much like, and yeah, it is kind of very much like a Lois Lane type thing, where, she's a reporter and all that, or, kind of, that's more of Debbie's thing. And you're probably wondering, do I ship Randy and Debbie together? It's a cool idea, but I don't, and here's why. Because I actually have I have an aunt and uncle who have the exact same names, and it's too real for me. I can't do it. It's too real. It's too real. Anyway. So I can't... I know there's actually a really good fanfiction out there on fanfiction.net that ships them together, but I was reading through it, I was like, I can't do it. I can't keep on. It's too real. It's getting too real. Yeah, so that's kind of what happened, honestly. That is That's kind of the whole thing, is what happened. It's too real. But yeah, getting back to Randy and Heidi, I do enjoy I kind of dig the ship, but yeah, I can see why people don't ship it. But again, I'm on both sides of the fence here. And again, I think had it not been for the whole mispronouncing the name thing, yeah, I think this could have worked out. And again, it's Howard's sister, so yeah. And it is mentioned that Randy does have he does find Heidi attractive. So you never know. Anyway, so that's kind of I also kind of dig Randy and Rachel, just from that one episode. But I find it it would just be totally adorable. It would just be utterly and totally, this would be the most adorable ship, where she'd be like, thank you, sweetie, and Howard would just completely be livid, because she is so goddamn cute, and just overly cutesy, to the point where it's nauseating. But yeah, Howard would honestly have a problem with all of them, because it would get in the way of their friendship. If Howard didn't have a girlfriend of his own, and it was just Randy, he would instantly feel like, oh fuck, I'm the third wheel. So he would be defensive on all counts, especially if Randy and Heidi formed a relationship, because again, it's his sister. It's his sister. Anyway, but here's how the Randy shipping goes for all of them. It's Randy and Teresa at number 1, Randy and Heidi at number 2, and Randy and Rachel at number 3. So that's kind of all the girls I kind of ship Randy with. Yeah, it's one of the few times where I ship all of the main character with 3 different girls. Seriously, someone needs to make a Love Hina type. If anyone knows the anime Love Hina, someone needs to do a Love Hina story with all of the Randy Cunningham female characters in Randy's the only guy, a Japanese he's at a summer job, and all of the girls are with him at this his aunt's bathhouse. Make it a parody of Love Hina. Call it Love Ninja or something. Seriously, that is fan fiction fodder. Go my writer, go fan fiction writers, to thy keyboards. Anyway, all right, moving on. So next up is pretty much let's move on to the other characters, and these are kind of a few ships here and there that I really enjoy outside for other characters. And starting off is Howard and Debbie. And yeah, I know everyone ships this. It's another, very common ship in the fandom. But yeah, it does work. But at the same time, they clearly are not good for one another. That is not a healthy relationship. When you really think about it, Howard is a complete asshole, and he's completely snarky, he's very lazy. Debbie is this very dedicated person, she's very hard at, it's very clear she takes her job seriously, whereas Howard takes nothing seriously. So literally, it would just be that, the amount of their relationship would just be them hooking up in the men's bathroom at prom. That would be the extent of the relationship, is just... there would be the biggest walk of shame from Debbie from Howard. Debbie would have the biggest walk of shame from Howard's house. That would be the X amount of. That's pretty much the relationship in a nutshell. Now, could Debbie and Howard work? Yeah. And like I said, I ship it, but I fully acknowledge that is not the makings of a healthy relationship. That in no way is in any form a good relationship. It's not good. Because again, they're totally polar opposites, and you could say, oh well, opposites attract. That's what they always say, right? Yeah, also, opposites attract that end up on Jerry Springer, and also, opposites attract also have moments where the cops are dragging the respective other into the cop car while the other person's going, lock his ass up. Yeah. So it would probably work. It would probably be oh man, me and Debbie are hooking up. It's gonna be great. 2 months into the relationship, Howard's gonna be I hate this fucking bitch. I hate this fucking bitch. And again, I do ship the relationship. It's very adorable. But at the same time, I think we all have to acknowledge that yeah, this would not end well in any way. That Howard and Debbie are just totally different. But could it work? Yeah. I totally think it could work. Like I've been saying, I ship this So it's a strong possibility that, you could make, if you do it right, and I'm talking to fanfiction writers, if you do it right, you could honestly make this work. There's a good chance you could, for all intents and purposes, make this work out. I think, yeah. And I've read fanfiction where it works. Like, there's a fanfiction where Howard has to, Debbie has to be Howard's fake girlfriend for his, because we find out that Howard and Heidi are Jewish in season 2. There's a family tradition where he has to bring a girlfriend when he's, at a family gathering. I can't remember what the religious holiday is for Judaism in that name. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. But he has to bring a girlfriend for that, and he basically makes a deal with Debbie, and eventually kind of forms into something. It's a very cute fan fiction. Again, I just can't remember the name of that religious holiday in Judaism that the story revolves around. I just can't remember. It's not Hanukkah. At least I don't think it's Hanukkah. They don't say. Actually, no, I think it is Hanukkah. Yeah, I think it is. Now that I think about it, it wasn't another religious holiday. It was Hanukkah. I almost said Yarmulke. Hanukkah. Yeah, it was Hanukkah. Anywho, so let's talk a bit. So yeah, Howard and Debbie. It's not healthy, but it's fun. Like, it's so, like, I'm not good, I don't usually like relationships like this, but it's not like Joker and a Harley level. It wouldn't be like Joker and a Harley kind of relationship, thank God. It wouldn't be like that. It would just be kind of hookups and a lot of regrets after. That's kind of how Howard and Debbie's relationship would be, it would be kind of like one-night stands, fights, and then they'd be like, hey, you doing anything? I'm bored. I got condoms, so let's do this. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on is, I guess another ship I kind of dig is, and this is kind of crack shipping that I've kind of thought up in my head, and I'll explain why I've thought it up, is Rachel and Julian. Now again, characters that have never been together, have never been seen. This is a definition of a crack ship, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very definition of a crack ship. I fully acknowledge that, but hear me out. The reason why I kind of like the idea of Rachel and Julian as a ship is because they're totally different, but it wouldn't be hostile to one another. Because as we know, Julian, as he loves the whole doom and gloom kind of thing, it's really more of a front. He's kind of a bitch. So yeah, and Rachel is this little ball of adorableness that that quintessentially would just think Julian is the most adorable thing ever. And I can totally see like a conversation between Rachel and Julian. It would kind of play out like, "Oh, your hat is so cute, madam. I am a creature of the night. How dare you presume me to be cute?" That's exactly how it would start out. As like Heidi would, Rachel. Rachel would just think like Julian's hat is cute, or his bat, or like a bat he owns, because yeah, he would probably own a bat or some form of nocturnal creature, and she thinks it's the most adorable thing ever, and Julian's just not having that shit at all. And eventually, like, they would kind of talk more. Again, they wouldn't be antagonistic toward each other, even if they are total opposites. Like I said, it wouldn't be like Howard and Debbie, where they would argue because there's, Howard's lazy and he's a jackass. Debbie's very determined and dedicated to her work and a straight-A student, while Howard, in every sense of the word, is a slacker. In here, with Rachel and Julian, it would be more along the lines of something like, it would be like total opposites, but they would be understanding of one another. And I could just imagine like them trying like on a project together and just being like, just being like some kind of like I don't know what kind of project you could put them on that would allow them to have both their unique spins on everything, but it would be completely adorable. I could see Julian trying to introduce Rachel to to like all these horror films, and he's eating the popcorn like just like oh, this is wonderful. You should really enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Please make it stop. And meanwhile, she subjects him to like to all these like romance movies, and he's like, "Make it stop, woman! For the love of God! If you love me, you will kill me. If you love me, you'll kill me." So that's kind of how it would be, is like they would give and take one another in this kind of opposites attract relationship. It would be very much like that between the two of Rachel and Julian. Yeah. Yeah, it would just be totally adorable. And admit it, you would probably think it would be adorable to see those two together, of just like, happy Halloween. This woman does not does not represent my views on Halloween. Have a happy, scary Halloween. Aww. Hugs. Don't touch me, woman. And admit it, you're thinking of it now, and you're like, God damn, that probably would be cute. Like, I could just see, like, just imagine them at Halloween. Oh, man. Anyway. So that's kind of all the ships I really have for Randy Cunningham. 3 different ships for the main character, and 2 others revolving around, other characters. The other, like, here's another crack ship, and it's very loose, I guess you could say, is maybe, well, I had another for Heidi, but it's not really, totally big at all. It's, I wouldn't, like, Heidi I could see with a few other characters. Like, I could see her hanging, like, being in a relationship with, because we don't know her sexual orientation, she could be with, Debbie or someone else of that, it could be that, yeah, we don't know if she's, we don't know if what her sexual orientation is, so that one's up for grabs for writers, honestly. Like I said, I like her with Randy, but at the same time, I could see her with, like, Debbie if, you change them both into a Yuri ship or something to that degree. Again, not really, not big on that ship, but I could see it. That's what I'm trying to say, is that while I don't ship it, I could see it. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there you go. So you guys tell me, what are some of your favorite Randy Cunningham ships? Just comment below, let me know, and let me know why do you guys ship those? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.